What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of 4 to 4. For this week, we're having on Blake LEESON. Blake LEESON is a middle out of Ohio State, from Wisconsin originally. He goes into some of his background and how he got started in volleyball, which is interesting from the way that he ended up finding himself in Ohio State gym. So hope you guys enjoy that. We are going to keep posting. We still have more episodes coming up. Next episode after this one is going to be with Michael Saeta, and he's got a lot of good insights. So please keep tuning in, keep listening. We will be releasing every single week on Friday, so make sure to keep an eye out for it.
All right, what's up, guys? What's up, Blake? How's it going, man? Thanks for coming on.
It's going well. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate being on.
Kelly, you want to step in? I know you and Blake have known each other for a while. I'll let you kick off conversation.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking before we started recording. I've known Blake for a while, and I've played with him, played against him. Really good athlete. He's out in Germany right now. But I was wondering how you got into volleyball and some of the other sports that you played growing up as well. That's something we've talked about with past guests, but I don't know your story on that.
Yeah, my story is I think it's pretty different from everybody else's. I actually didn't start playing volleyball until my junior year of high school. Kind of where I grew up was like very football oriented, successful football program. So I did that from third or fourth grade till 10th grade. And I pretty much look the same as I do now as I did then. So I decided that I should probably make a change. I wanted to play college sports and didn't really have the weight of a football player. So I decided to switch and I played 2 seasons of high school, 1 year of club, and I did not get recruited. A lot of people think or assume that, you go to a school, any school in college that people are constantly, emailing you and stuff. As you guys know, it's not necessarily how it is at all. So I got some film and I sent out, the generic email to everybody, just, hey, I'm interested in your program and I'd love for you to, give me a look, see what you think, and got a couple of responses, and that's how I ended up at Ohio State. Was able to walk on there and just got super lucky being on a good team and fell in love with the sport, especially at the college level. As you guys know, there's nothing like NCAA. I mean, we've all played overseas now and nothing compares to NCAA. It's just not even close from multiple areas. It's different, it's got its ups and downs, but it definitely doesn't compare. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. Started pretty late and was fortunate to kind of learn, hopefully kind of quickly, and being able to play and travel has been an awesome experience.
Yeah, I'm sure college coaches just love when hidden gems that haven't been playing for 4 or 5 years already, just like send them video and they're like, what's this? And if they take the time, they're like, oh, this kid's pretty big. He looks pretty athletic. We could definitely make a good volleyball player out of him.
That's nuts. I had no idea you were a walk-on. I did not know like your story at all. I had no idea about that. You're from Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin. Mm-hmm.
So like, did you play for Sting then?
No, I did. There you go. Green Bay, baby. They're playing soon. Right.
They're on right now. They're on right now.
Yeah. No, I did not play for Sting. I don't know if Sting had a boys program when I was there. I'm not entirely sure, but I played for North Shore, which is now Milwaukee, because when Lightning folded, West Dallas Lightning was like the other big competitor club when I was there. West Dallas Lightning, they had that huge middle from UC Irvine. He played there. That was like, what was it? Scott Static. I'm pretty sure he played there.
That's like the 7-foot guy, right? Like 7'1".
Yeah.
I played against him. Yeah.
Yep. He played at Irvine, but I played for North Shore, and then when West Dallas folded, they became Milwaukee Volleyball Club. So they're still Milwaukee as of now.
Yeah, I had no idea you walked on. That's crazy, because you ended up being like a huge part of Ohio. Like every time that I played you when I was in college, you were always in the starting lineup. You were one of like the higher scoring like attackers in general. So it's crazy to go from like 2 years prior to going into college, never playing, and then you walk on and you end up being like a huge part in winning national championship. So that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, It was cool. I mean, I definitely got lucky for sure because I actually went there as an opposite. But obviously, out of state school, expensive. I kind of looked at the coach and was like, "Hey, what's the fastest way on the court?" And unfortunately, they said middle. Where I am today.
Oh, that's so funny, dude.
But it worked out, man. I mean, I don't know if he will agree. I think middle is one of the hardest positions, and the least rewarding at the same time. But Callaway feels my pain probably more than anybody.
I
But
swear, Blake, we are one and the same, and you wouldn't even know because like I also was recruited at Penn State as the opposite. And did you redshirt at Ohio State?
oh yeah, dude, I was awful my first year. Absolutely
Yeah,
awful. I was
so we both.
awful majority of the years,
Oh,
but my first
we were still
year.
learning a lot of like a high pace game, going from like raw high school and like 1 year club to like in the freaking like dungeon of Ohio State. That's a competitive team every year. I mean, that's a steep learning curve. So, I mean, good on
Yeah.
you for finding. I think did you start getting playing time right after your redshirt freshman year? So like,
Yeah, I did. There were two senior middle blockers my redshirt year, so I wasn't going to
yeah,
play anyway. So I was a little hesitant to redshirt because I was like, I can't afford to,
yeah.
be here
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
5 years anyways. So what's the point of redshirting? But it was honestly like the best decision that I could have done. I mean, I wouldn't have played anyways, and I needed to put on some weight and some muscle because
Yeah.
I was pretty weak. And I think even my head coach told me after I graduated that I was like a blind deer on roller skates when I came in. So that was like one of the best memories I have from like our
Oh,
senior banquet was
that's
him saying that.
blind deer on roller skates. That's tough. That's Bambi on ice, in other words.
Yep, it
But
was. Yep, I
yeah,
think
I
maybe it was that, but
I've just always thought we had a similar game. Blake's probably a little bit more physical than I am, but I was just like,
You guys
that's
are
so
also
funny. And you
built
would
like the
be in.
exact same. Like you guys have the
Yeah.
exact same body build. It's wild. Identical.
counts.
Okay.
We've played together on the same team actually in adult nationals a few years,
Yeah,
and it's
it
always been
was
a
a
great
blast,
time.
man. They had
I
no
miss
rest
it.
on the from the middle pressure that year.
Kelly, that was
Whatever
the
team
year.
we were playing,
Absolutely.
we were shitting on everybody. It was fun.
Was that the year that I saw you at Adult Nationals, Callaway? When we hung
Uh,
out? Was that the same year, like 2019, right after
I want to say
2019?
I want to say that was a different year, but it could have
We
been.
played
I'm not
in
sure.
Dallas, and
No.
what was the other place?
The other one was well, the one that I was talking about was Columbus. That was the one where Blake, you were with the Ohio State guys. Ohio
Yeah,
State did like
Yeah,
a team.
I made an
yeah,
alumni team that year.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We played Dallas when we were in Dallas. That was when Blake and I played together, and it was really fun. It was a really fun
Yeah.
team. Made it to the championship
Hopefully,
of
hopefully we
Double
get
A.
to do it again sometime. I would like
Yeah,
to. I know they're trying to start it up again, but
That
it's
would be
fun.
COVID.
sweet.
Yeah.
But
So
Did
all
they
right,
even
funny.
have it
well,
last year?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
No.
even know. I don't even know.
Sorry. Go
Dude,
ahead.
I don't know
I had two
shit.
surgeries. I wasn't playing, so
Yeah, I know. Surprisingly, for being guys that host a podcast about volleyball, we don't know shit about like what's going on.
plugged
Yeah.
in.
So my question was going to be like, okay, so I saw you. Obviously, we played against each other through college. I saw you at the USA tryout when we were there. One, I thought that this was fun, like hilarious. Is when we were in like the training room or something. I was still having like really bad back issues, and I remember your knees were fucked. Like it was like every day I was in the training room to like I would just like take a little bit of stuff to rub on my back, and you were in there going through the same like procedures just to get your body good enough to go. I was like, dude, it's like, how's he even going to finish this season? And now you're like in your second or third year of professional. So one, your knee's like magically healthy now because like you look great on the court. One, and then two, also step in if you can step into like how you got overseas and stuff like that. Where else you played?
Yeah. So the knee thing, there were practices during my 5th year, and again, I'm sure Callaway can relate to this. That I was just like, I looked at my coach and I was like, yeah, it's just like I jump and it just there'd be nothing, and it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. And like when your body does that to you, you start freaking out a little bit, like legitimately start worrying. But I honestly, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but I just YouTubed rehab patellar tendon, videos and just knee exercises and stuff. And I started doing a bunch of them my first year overseas. And ever since then, I stuck to those like 3, 4, 5 exercises and haven't had any knee pain since really. And I've been really lucky because I got MRIs done when I left Ohio State just to, check everything. And I've got, microscopic tears in both my knees that I'm sure every volleyball player has, tons of them. And they basically said, yeah, you can play. It's like they're not gonna go away. They might get worse. They might say the same type of deal. Just be on top of them. So that's what I've tried to do, and luckily no issues. So I've been pretty lucky. And then you asked about where I played.
Yeah, like getting into like Europe, because that's what I think a lot of people one don't know or fully understand. Like it's something that we've asked a couple of people, but like people don't understand the process of like getting an agent, some of the ups and downs with that, and then finding your way overseas and like randomly getting shipped over. So how is like your approach? And then also, run through the teams that you played for or where you've played.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually was pretty late to the game. I wasn't sure if I was waiting. I didn't know agent wise, like when you're from the States, as you guys know, it's like blah, blah. You just like don't know what the hell's going on.
It feels very thrown together. Like it feels
Yes.
very just like, okay, I'm going next week.
Yep. It's not like the States. It's very go with the flow, I guess I would say, like mentality. Like you kind of are like at their bay in terms of like where they want you and when they want you, and it's just like it's just kind of like the lifestyle, as you guys know. Unfortunately, it's not like again, not like NCAA where you got a clear timeline of when, what, and where, but I talked to some of the guys who played at Ohio State and a couple other guys that I knew played overseas, and I got into contact with a couple agents. I got a couple of them reached out after the NCAA championship games that we played. So I kind of kept in contact with them after I was done, of course.
Nice.
So I was you could probably edit that out.
It's fine. You saved it.
I saved it. Exactly. But yeah, so I kept in contact with them, and then once the time was time, I was like, hey, I'm interested, like, what's the deal? And obviously, like, I'm not on the national team. I'm not a big name player. And so I just wanted to go somewhere and kind of get a start and, just kind of hash it out like most guys have to do,
Yeah.
We don't have some super, connection that's going to get us to, wherever.
Just get you a 6-figure contract.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I went to Finland my first year. It was definitely an experience adjustment living wise. Played for Rising Loimu, and that was the COVID year. So we didn't finish playoffs. I actually went home early.
Was that nice? And like getting to go home early? Were you like, fuck yes, or were you like, man, I wish? Yes, okay, no, I figured.
I was. I rolled my ankle like the day before the game before we cut the season. So I got to go home earlier before anyone else, because I looked at the president and I was like, I'm not going to be playing. I just rolled my ankle for the next, I'm out for the next 3 to 6 weeks. So there's no point in me here.
When did this happen? When did you get sent home? Like March then? I'm assuming it's gotta be like March or April if it was 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, early March. I think it was early March. But yeah, Finland was an eye-opening experience for sure. Culture-wise, it's great. The people are great. Living there is pretty difficult. The sun thing really screwed with me, as you talk to anybody who's lived in Finland or played in Finland.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys still playing that's played there. Mike Marshman, who plays in France now, he played there. Dustin Watton's played there. The outside from UCLA who's on the national teams played there. His name's forgetting me, but it's a
Dylan.
Who, Micah, or no? Who are you talking about?
I didn't want to bother pronouncing his last name because I knew I was going to butcher it.
Dylan?
But his first name's Garrett. Yeah.
Oh, Garrett. Oh, Magatuatia, right?
Yeah, he played for UCLA.
Okay. Yeah. One of the older
guys. He played there as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. So those are the 4 that I know that have played there.
I know Mike McClue. He's there right now. He's in Finland. He's a Wisconsin guy.
Oh, yeah, he's a Wisconsin guy, right?
Yeah.
He's playing for ETA, I think. But yeah,
I can't remember.
He's been all over the place.
Dude, yeah, I think this is like his 7th year. He played in Bundesliga too. He was in Lunenburg.
Yeah, he was in Lunenburg. Last year maybe, or 2 years ago. I don't know.
He has such a weird path. He's somebody we should also get on the show. But
we should definitely get him on. The more I think about it, I'm like, he's been all over the place.
I was gonna say, but he's had such like an interesting path, and not in a bad way, because like I don't know what his contracts are, but like he went from like I don't know exactly where he
The
started,
league
but I
level,
know.
you mean.
Yeah, it's
I
so
think he
Yeah,
just loves the
like
ball,
100%.
to be honest.
most guys I know like are like you, like starting in Finland and then they go to like he legit was like in Germany, like Bundesliga, like a really high level like league, and then he went to Sweden last year, which is still good, but probably not as good as German Bundesliga. And then now he's in Finland. I mean, it's probably good contracts. Like I'm sure he's just wanting to play and make as much money as he can. But I thought that was interesting. But
That would be a good person to interview for sure. It's
not as
the
good
same
as you,
thing
Blake.
with Matt
You're gonna
West.
be the best interview yet. I'm positive.
Matt West, I just got done talking to him. He's played 7 seasons. It's crazy. He's been to Finland, Turkey, France, all over the place.
We
But
we should start finding some guys that have been in the leagues for a long time, because I feel like we've had a lot of guys that are like, you know,
a lot of floaters.
1 to 4
Mhm.
years like playing overseas. I want to
But
find
it's
somebody that's
also
like just been doing it and just like
it's
how.
super hard to find people who have been like just grinding and
Yeah, it's
doing it
really hard.
because like
It's rare. It's rare.
Blake, like I mean, like we've talked about, like you know, you're not the top athletes in professional volleyball are making like 6 figures and like the
There's a big
highest
drop
paid
off, in my
contract,
opinion.
a huge
It's
one,
like
huge one,
Yeah,
in
it's
price
like
wise.
top,
I
and
mean,
then it's just
it's like top, and then
it's flat.
fucking
yeah.
straight downhill. Yeah.
It's like if you're not playing in Poland, Italy, France, Russia, unless
Yeah.
you're like a top team in Germany.
Yeah, I was gonna say top
Some of
teams in
the
Germany
some of the
probably,
Asian
but
leagues, I think,
even
make
like
good money. Like
Well,
South
yeah,
Korea, I think.
yeah.
they pay
But those
really
have like a
good.
foreign limit, and all that
Yeah.
money goes to that one guy who's just dicking on balls.
Yeah, dude. I had an offer in the second V League in Japan this past year, which was really weird. It like came across my agent randomly, and it's the same thing where it's like only one foreign player, and they typically bring in an
Mhm.
attacker, and the money is
Mhm.
like pretty solid. But Japan would have been a little tough for like me and my fiance, but
For sure.
either way,
On the complete other side of the world.
yeah, literally. Even though, dude, Japan would have been so sick. It would have been. I would have
Yeah.
loved to go to Japan, but it would have been really hard. So
Mhm.
after Finland, where'd you go from there?
After Finland, I went to that's where it got a little sticky. I had an offer actually for the team I'm on now, but it was COVID year, and I was not sure about like the money and stuff. In Switzerland, the league is okay. The top 4 teams are good, but the league is okay, nothing special, but the money's pretty good because
Mhm.
in Switzerland it's expensive.
Everything's expensive.
To live.
Yeah.
So it was great from that perspective because I didn't spend a penny, and
I was gonna
got
say,
paid well.
living there where you like it's super expensive. You say you didn't spend a penny. Like, isn't groceries and everything's more expensive, or did you just like not do shit and you only bought
No.
groceries, kind of?
I literally only bought like groceries. I mean, none of the stores were open, no
Yeah.
clubs. I didn't go to a single club, didn't go to a single bar.
That
It's
was this.
depressing
Yeah.
when you look at it from that perspective. But yeah, I mean, my expenses were basically zero almost. I mean, I was spending not a lot of money.
Yeah, that was the same with me in Denmark because Denmark was in like lockdown when I was there. I
Mm.
went to a bar my second weekend there. The team went out to a bar, and then everything was locked down the rest of the time I was there. And I wasn't
Mhm.
making very much, but I still came back home with like a decent amount of savings because, like you said,
Yeah.
you just like bank money.
Yeah, I mean, when they cover everything, as you guys know, when they cover everything, it's like, yeah, it's like I'm either saving it or investing it, and then spending money on groceries and a little bit of entertainment on the one day off we get off, you know. But Switzerland was great for COVID because it's like by far the most beautiful country I've ever been to. I mean, there's just so much stuff to do outside, you know, hiking, seeing, you know, biking, waterfalls, mountains. It's like every off day I had an opportunity to do something. I was doing something. So it was perfect for COVID. I don't know if either of you have ever been there, but definitely someplace I'd recommend visiting if you can at some point.
Yeah, I'd like to go out there. That'd be nice.
So what
And then
happened with
after,
the
obviously.
and then now,
What's that?
yeah. So with like Netzhopper, it was like the money thing. It was just Switzerland
Yeah,
had
I
better
just
money,
like
so
for me, I told myself, and I don't know if I'm sure you guys both had goals like going into playing. My agreement to myself was like, I'm gonna either continue playing if I get A, more money, or B, better league
Yeah.
/ team. That was my agreement to myself, because at some point it's like I do have to pay bills that I have, you know?
yeah.
And so that was the agreement to myself, and I made that decision based on the bill standpoint going to Switzerland, which, looking back at it, I'm not sure was maybe the best decision, but because a lot of people say you have to play in Germany to get seen, quote unquote. A lot of people, get good exposure from playing in Germany. You play Germany, you play a good season, you can go to France or you can go to other places.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why I came here, for that chance kind of before I either keep going or hang it up type deal. So that was the debate between the second year of going to Switzerland or Germany, but I'm here now, so they got me.
And you're doing well. You're doing well over there, huh?
I'm enjoying it. Hopefully be able to keep it up. The team's a great group of guys. I mean, as you guys know, last year I played on a team that a couple selfish players and just kind of ruins the whole atmosphere. And this group,
Yeah.
everyone plays for one another, and it's just like a completely different dynamic. I mean, you got one shithead on your team. It just
Yeah.
I feel like it's especially hard as a middle to watch. You have
Yeah.
like some selfish shithead on your team because
yeah,
we are just kind of forced as a position to just be like helping
the
out
least
everyone.
selfish.
Yeah, the least
Yeah,
selfish.
yeah.
Like you're like, hey,
Everybody's
we know
cheerleader.
that role. Let's just freaking like work hard, try to get good touches, like be available
Yeah.
when we can. And when you have those guys that are just
100%.
like me, and I'm nothing I do is wrong. I just want to just clock
Yep.
them, dude. It's like you have no idea how poisonous you're on this team.
No, and that's exactly the problem that we had in Switzerland, and it's like a cancer sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's refreshing to be on a team now. It's like we play with a little bit of heart, as cliche as it sounds, and you don't feel that like me type bullshit you do on some teams. It's rare in volleyball, but like obviously we've all been on teams where there's one or two guys. It's just like it's the so and so show,
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that back and kind of feel like I'm playing team volleyball again.
Yeah, that's really much more fun. And it's also like I feel like that's probably how your Ohio State national championship teams were. So
100%.
when you have one of those teams and then you are like on a new team that just doesn't get it, it is one of the most frustrating things. Honestly,
100%.
like
I mean,
I even just think back to my high school senior year, and I was like, damn, that team had it, and they were just high school kids, and I was just like hoping it would kind of line up with teams I had played on down the road. And honestly, it never was all in as that high school team was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hit or miss, and if you get one, it's lucky. But it's like you said, like the college teams, like you guys know Nick Surgeon could be one of the cockiest players in NCAA, and he's not the type of guy. It's just like he's a guy that I would play with 100 times out of 1,000. Like that's the type of player you want on a team. So it's nice to have that back.
Yeah, man, he was lethal. I remember when we played him.
Yeah,
he's an absolute stud, and he's a great dude. It's awesome. Yeah.
See, and that's the best part, dude, is when you run into a person like that, like somebody that has that kind of high level that like, it's like they are the best in the gym. Like they are like that Olympic kind of level, and they're like super down to earth and super nice. Because it's like,
because everybody knows you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to tell anybody.
You don't need to be a dickhead about it. Yeah.
We all see it. We know. It's like we know.
It's like, dude, whatever shit you're like gonna say to me to talk shit right now, I'm already saying to myself. It's like when you're like, bro, you can't
mind screwing myself.
Yeah, when you're like, bro, you can't reach with me, don't try. I'm like, fuck, I know, I already said that. Like, yeah, that's funny.
That's so funny. I think that takes me back to who was it that we had on that like told a story about Aaron?
Told a story
Russell
about
bouncing. You're like good friends with him, right, Callaway?
Who? Aaron?
Yeah.
Oh, we both are.
Yeah, we're both. He's going to be a groomsman in my wedding.
Oh, that's right. You were saying that in Berlin. You like, that's right.
They like
play,
grew up together almost.
Video games,
oh, dude, we played so much. I think I was up like till like 1:30 last night after our match, like playing Nintendo Switch with Ron.
Nintendo Switch with him. Nice.
Yeah. No, who was it? You should have told it funny.
I'm blanking so hard right now. I'm just thinking about it.
It could have been Peter. I mean, Peter's typically one of the hosts, but sadly can't be here tonight.
It was definitely a guest. It'll come to me, and I'll just randomly.
Oh, I think it was Micah.
No,
Micah or Josh? Josh Eisenberg.
It was Josh.
Josh had a funny one. When we played Josh, when we had Josh Eisenberg on, he talked about like when he played at Sacred Heart, and their first time playing up against Penn State was Aaron's like senior year. And he was like, and you knew Sacred Heart was like bottom of the barrel, like EIVA, like they weren't even close to the Penn State level. And like Josh said that he like came in with this whole pump up speech and was like, guys, like fuck him. It doesn't matter how big he is. Like, we can stop him. We can find ways to use like outsides, like middles, just commit to him. Like our outside, if you put up 3 blocks, I'll dig his cross. Like, I'll figure it out. He said, like, very first ball, they put up a massive triple block and it was perfect. And Aaron just like tagged one like 2-foot line completely cross. And Josh, like, there's no way I can dig that. Like, that's just
the guys, we have no fucking chance. He's just a better guy. He's better than we are. We're gone.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but we should really compile like a starter survival guide for first year pro players and just like poll a bunch of people that have played pro. It's like, what are the top 10 things that you wish you had known going in, or like things that you want to like negotiate into your first contract, or because I feel like you either get lucky or you have a bad time.
That is true.
Well, you guys know Michael Simmons?
Yeah. I
know.
already know your story, dude.
No, I don't. Wait.
The kids.
Is that the one that was with you in Romania?
Yeah, he went to Romania with me for 48 hours.
No, that's why I brought it up. This dude's a baller, in my opinion. Like,
he is a baller.
Is a baller, and he gets to this place. I don't want to tell his story or Callaway's story.
No, you tell your perspective. This is hilarious.
We played World University games together, so I got to know him. Obviously, when you play conference, you're like, screw these guys, but no, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I wish he would have kept playing because he really, really talented kid. But we were texting back and forth because I think that was my first year too in Finland. And he sent me a DM. I thank my agent every day because I had not experienced this, but he sent me a DM of what like his bed in his room was. And it was literally like a closet in the wall. And I kid you not, I was like, I would lose my freaking mind. If I walked in and that was like my living experience. And I've been super lucky. Like my agent Kiara has been great in terms of like getting me places where I don't feel like I'm living outside. But when he sent me pictures of that, I was like, holy shit. Like, is that for real? It was like a bed within like a closet.
I honestly, like one day, Brandon,
this is so funny to me.
And I'm just going to actually tell what Romania was like from start, like just unfiltered. I'm just going to like
it's
4 after dark.
We should
just cause like we have like moments of it, but one day I really want to just be like,
you just
this is what it was like.
We should
no
do
one
like,
should ever play at this club.
We should do like a full rip of it for sure. But that was when me and Callaway were like, at that point we were already close friends, but we were really playing like a fuck ton of games together because it was, I think, COVID year. Yeah, because it was when you were in Finland. You said it's when COVID was hitting, and like he was trapped in Romania, and I was rehabbing my back and like had to take the year off, and I was gonna try to jump in wherever I could. But I remember him telling me all about that, and like that dude's bed. And then Callaway just gets on one day. He's like, "Yeah, the other American's fucking gone. Like he's gone." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like,
"Didn't he leave the next day?" He told me he bought a plane ticket and went home.
He left within. All right, here's like a short tidbit. So one, like I love Michael Simmons.
I'm gonna tag him in this.
I love Michael Simmons. He played the Spry guy. So I knew him. He's a couple years younger than me growing up, and I was like, I'm not gonna go to another team without an American because I did that last year. I was the only foreigner, and I was like, that was just tough. And I would love to play with another American. Simmons reaches out to me, hey, I got this team, they need a middle, let's go. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. I didn't really know a ton, talked to coach a little bit. I was like, he seems nice enough. I mean, like, we'll see. And we head out, and it was just kind of a really, really rough flight over there. Like the roughest one I had, the turbulence was just bad. We both felt like awful. We get there at like
2 a.m. Romanian
time. Yeah, we literally just went out together. I mean, we were both in Chicago. Like it just was what it was. And I do not blame him at all for leaving. I mean, like it was really bad. Like the bed literally was like a little girl's bed that was like built into a closet shelf. And you know, like I was on this like tiny little queen bed in the other room that had like footboards on it. So like I had to sleep diagonal on my bed. And then, you know, like it was 105 degrees and humid as shit. And we're like, we have no air conditioning. We have no fans. We need to leave the windows open. Here comes the mosquitoes. I woke up the next day like I had like malaria or something because I had just covered in mosquito bites. So was he. And we're supposed to practice. It's the worst practice of my life. And like, so he's just like, I came over here to have fun, to have a good time, have an experience. And I can tell after just 24 hours I made a mistake that this is not what I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to do it. So I was like, hey man, I understand. If you got to go, you got to go. And they're like, yeah, he's like, I'm going to buy my own flight so that they can't do anything to like basically keep me here. And I'm going to go. And they're like, all right, you can go. And it kind of sucked, but I couldn't go. Cause at that point in time, I was like, if I just bail right now, I'm never going to get a contract ever again. Like that's the reality. So I was like, I'll stick it out. And I stuck it out, and it was tough, man. But someday I'll really go into like all the stories.
I give you a lot of credit because he was telling me exactly what you said with the heat and stuff, and like
it was bad for sure. It was not a good 48 hours. He should have stuck it out for a couple of weeks, to be honest, but he didn't want to screw the team over either.
I think what's crazy to me is like it's like people talk, right? Agents talk, so like they should know like about these teams and stuff, and it's like if that's a situation, I don't understand how that doesn't get tossed to the grapevine. Because like if I came here to my club and I was like, this is crap, this is shit, this is horrible, do not come here. Like I feel like that would get, word travels fast about that stuff. I mean, I'm not familiar with Romania at all, and I don't know who your agent was, but
the way I see it is they probably spun it like it was me and Simmons' problem. Like we were the issue. It's my guess.
That's mind-boggling. I mean, we're not expecting
when you're not
gold-plated bed frames. All right, we're just want something to sleep on and AC.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Especially if you're filling an apartment for volleyball players, like you can't get a bed big. Like you should get a big bed. Like it's a pretty good assumption that they're going to be bigger guys.
I ended up sleeping 100%. On the couch in the apartment the whole year that I was there until I left for my brother's wedding and surgery.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, can't fit on out of these.
Did they pay you the full amount that you were owed in your contract, or no?
I mean, I cut the ties after December, basically. So
okay, because it's like I've heard stories of people getting shafted on that too. Fun story. So what I was saying was I was asking Callaway about how did he get his full salary or whatnot. Because COVID got canceled, or the season got canceled in March, and it was right before playoffs in April, before we were to go home. And we would have had one more salary in Finland. Basically, they sent us all home, and then the club was like, "Oh, we're not gonna pay you your last salary or whatever because you didn't play or whatever." Which I was like, "It's bullshit. It's out of our control. It's like that's not. How is that my fault? Like you already had the sponsors. You already had the money. I don't know." And I signed. I don't know. Obviously being from the States, it's like I signed for something, I expect I'm going to get it. That's just kind of how it is. Like, I'm not asking for anything more. I'm not asking for anything less. Like, this is what I signed for. That's what I expect to get. That's it. And I messaged, the club I'm pretty frugal. So I was like, hey, checking in every now and then being like, hey, are you guys going to send us the money? You're going to give it to the guys, because it didn't say anything in my contract about not getting paid if the season got canceled or anything like that. So it's like in my head they're just making up shit to save the money or whatever. And literally 2 weeks ago, best day of not my life, but best day of the week for sure. I get a text from our manager and say, hey, do you have or my manager back in Finland? I got a text or a message, a WhatsApp message. She's like, hey, do you have a German bank account? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, we're gonna send you like the flight, the extra, because I paid for an Uber and a flight, whatever, to go home early, and they said they'd reimburse me, and they never did. And then my last month's salary, and they're like, we're gonna send you that money now. And I was like, no shit, because I obviously it's been 2 years.
Holy fuck.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty cool surprise.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
Super
usually,
nice.
I mean, as you guys know, it's like that money's theoretically gone. You're never going to see it. And again, for people who don't play, like they don't understand. It's just like it's not the same animal. It's not like I can just go sue them. One, it's not worth it. And two, it's just never going to happen, So that was pretty cool. So that was my little story about, getting shafted and getting money back.
That's insane. My old teammate, Eugene Stewart, who you played against him.
Yeah, he's in Russia right now?
He's in Croatia. So, I forgot to update you because when I was in Berlin, or maybe this did happen, he was initially signed in Bulgaria to Gage's team, which is what we talked about with Gage Worsley. He was supposed to be a middle on their team, and he was like the last signed, like literally was signed in like August. And then he was like 2 days before his flight, like the manager was like, hey, actually, we don't need you. Like your contract's cut. And he was just like done. He now had no contract. And he was like, shit. And then he got
before he went.
Yeah, like 2 days before he was supposed to be flying, like before his booked flight. And they were just like, yeah, we don't need you. Like we found another middle or whatever. And they just cut it. And I was like, wow. And now he's in Croatia, but he was in Finland the same season and he got cut.
Yep, we played against him.
Same way. He was telling me he didn't get paid for like the last couple of months though. I was like, He was like, dude, I haven't been paid since
Hermos, I think.
Yeah. He was like, I haven't been paid since January. I was like, what the hell? I was like, how? Like, I would have been fuming. I would have been the same way. Like I would have, even when I first arrived to Denmark, which was my first season, because of all this that I heard about people not getting paid in like Greece and Finland, like the first thing I said was, if there comes what day of the month do I get paid? And I was like, if the money is not in my account that day, like the next day I want the money from like the club to be paying for my flight. I was like, if there's a single missed check, like I'm not going to deal with it because of what Gene and everybody had told me. Luckily I had no issues there, which was nice. But yeah, he was stinted out like 3 months. So that's insane. The fact that they just
got a buddy.
Crazy. What were you saying?
No, I got a buddy now I play with that said he played in Greece last year. And to your point, he said he got paid in cash. The president would come by his apartment and just hand him cash.
What?
Just wild. Yeah.
That actually, my
I
setter.
got paid in cash for like my first 2 paychecks in Romania.
It's so fucking. My setter here got paid in cash. He played in lower division in France, and he got paid like straight cash. They would walk into like Friday practice and hand you like an envelope.
It's wild. It's just different, for sure.
The stack in Romanian money, I'll tell you that much.
Was it cheap to live there?
Dude, it's amazingly cheap.
It's like dirt cheap.
They're like, are you rich? And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. Like, well, whenever you like are traveling, you just like get whatever you want. I'm like, yeah, because it costs like a quarter of what it costs in the United States. So like, yes, I'm gonna get it. Like I could get a 30 rack of beer for like what would cost like me like $2 to $5 in the United States.
Wow.
Like what?
That is crazy.
Yes. Yeah, I want that. Sure, I'll have that.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Same way in Poland. Like I visited Nick like last year for New Year's or 2 years ago for New Year's. And I was like, hey, I don't have any, credit card that works here and even cash. Like, can you just pay for it? And I'll just like Venmo you at the end of the month or at the end of the week. I visited him for over New Year's. I went out and ate the zloty, I think it's called, is the currency there, zloty or something. It's like 4 to 1 US. So it's like you get like a steak dinner and it'd be like $10. Yeah. You'd be like, what the hell? I spent like $100 US and ate out almost every meal for a week. It was wild. It was bonkers, and the food was great.
Yeah, we went.
It's crazy.
Like halfway through the first part of the season, like before December, we were going to this one restaurant that was fine. But then the other guys were like driving just for lunch, like this like nice hotel and getting like nice food. And I didn't have a car. So like I just wasn't going with them. And all of a sudden one day I go and I started like asking these guys for rides like every time. And it's like really freaking good food. I got like a full slab of ribs, like a side, like 2 sides and then dessert. And it was like $5. And I was like, why have I not been here this whole time?
I'll come every day.
Yeah, literally. I would eat out every day. That's not even.
I was like, I'm coming every time.
Blake, so this kind of got me thinking. Everybody, I feel like before they signed to play professional over in Europe, like you have a certain idea of like professional athlete, right? Obviously. And we've been talking about like all the things that are so wild that like you wouldn't expect. What was like the first like wild or fucked up thing that you were like, what? I can't believe like this is happening. Like, what the fuck? Like, how is this a thing? When you were in Europe, I outside of maybe the pay thing in Finland.
Yeah, I've got a couple for sure. I'm sure Callaway does as well. Some weird things are just like, I don't know about fucked up, but like definitely strange, like just like out of the ordinary. Like I didn't have a PT. We don't have like PTs that come to the practices or some of the games even, which is wild to me after going to the NCAA. The game I got injured in Finland and rolled my ankle and was out. Like I know I'm an adult now and it's not a big deal, but like our assistant coach was like, I'll get you a beer. And I was like still in uniform on the damn sideline. Like that was wild to me. That was a cool experience for sure.
Did you get the beer? Did you drink the beer?
Yeah, he put it in my water bottle and I was like sipping on it. It was crazy. But the thing about Europe is just like everything, like the money just isn't put into the arenas, as you guys know. It isn't put into the support, or just like it's like my first year I lifted in like a bomb shelter. It was like just grungy weights, like in the side of the building, and it was like literally like it looked like a safe vault that like you to walk through to like go into this like just concrete box, and it was like straight out of like a Rocky movie or something.
That's how both my weight rooms were in
like,
my overseas years.
Yeah,
I kind of liked it though. I kind of liked it.
Yeah. Well, they've done studies on it. Like when you're working in like worse conditioned places, it like, you know, helps motivate you and drives you versus like being in some super nice establishment, which totally makes sense to me. But it's just different. Like it's like we don't even have we're playing in Bundesliga, and if would I tell this to anybody that would come like say, oh, you play professionally in Germany, which is like in my opinion a pretty good league. We don't even have a locker room in our own gym.
Yeah.
We don't. It's just like, it's just different. Like we have to, and again, it's not a huge deal, but we have to bring our shit and bring it back each time. Like you can't leave anything in the gym because it's like a public gym, like public locker room. And it's just like that stuff is wild to us. It's like my locker room at Ohio State was the nicest locker room I'll probably ever have in my professional career. You know what I mean? Like, it's just bonkers. And like the stuff you get to, like the quality, like some of the brands out here, in my opinion, are just like,
well, it's just like, it goes to show you like you don't have to pay athletes in college. They can just make everything super nice and take care of the athletes versus like they're paying us in Europe. So they just are like, all right, we're paying you. You can do what you want to take care of yourself with the money we pay you for. Yeah, that's crazy how it goes.
Yeah, dude, that part is really wild. Yeah, all that different, like you said, just a huge change from NCAA to like Europe is absurd. And even just like with like you guys talked about earlier, where in the NCAA, it's like, you know, they're looking out for you. It's like they're trying to make one family, one team, and like everybody loves you. Over here, the coach couldn't give a shit less if like you're friends with a single guy on the court. As long as you like come out, you score your points, like that's all they care about.
It's super hit or miss.
Yeah,
it's super because it's your job. It's super hit or miss, but it's like, as you guys can attest to too, like I play best when I'm like loose and having fun. Like that's just,
I think everybody generally does, because you're just
how
you're having fun. Like, you're just playing like, again, like you said, loose, and it just comes easy that way. You're not overthinking anything or stressing about certain aspects of the game. It's all just kind of flowing.
Yeah. The one thing I will say though about playing overseas that I think is a little bit different that I don't like is like when you're in college, I think there's a lot of team camaraderie and like you want to play for your university and you want to represent that team. Again, we talked about this earlier, like depending on the guys in the team, it's like over here, it's like if you want a better contract, like it doesn't necessarily matter like how good your team, I mean, it helps, but like you at the end of the day, you have to perform, like your numbers have to be good. Like, so that's a different mindset change that like I don't really like accepting, because I like to think I'm a big team guy and I want everybody to do well so that we're winning. But that's one thing that people have told me about that I've definitely noticed since I've been here, because like it definitely changes things.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's exactly how I felt over there. I was like, I wanted to be such a team guy, and I felt like I had to make that transition going from like junior to senior at Penn State. I was like, I need to be a team guy here. And then when I went to Europe, and it was like, I want to be a team guy, but everything I was hearing from just like my own surroundings and environment, and then just like advice I was asking of players that had been there, like, nope, keep your head down, work as hard as you can, get as good a numbers as you can. Like, that's the reality. And it's just such a less fun way to play. And I think it for sure makes the team not do as well. But if everyone's doing that, and you'll just get burnt out so fast, unfortunately.
100%. I'm sure you guys have heard people having stuff written in their contracts. I don't think they do this in every league, but some of the more lucrative / sketchy leagues that aren't as established, I know like Qatar, they've done things like if you hit a certain percentage or you get an amount of kills, it's like if you've got that in your contract for a bonus, like what do you think as a player you're going to do? You're not going to do the smart thing and, you know, take the free ball and, you know, set somebody else. You're going to go up and hit, you know, regardless of whether you think you can kill it or not in a smart situation. It's like, I don't know if I really want to play volleyball like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And dude,
like,
that's,
I don't know, it's selfish.
That's what makes like when I do go back to the US so much fun. Like last season, after I finished up in Denmark, I played in the VLA, which Blake, you can talk on some of that too. That would be sick for you to speak on because you've been a big part of that with LVC. But even like my like second or third week back from getting home from Denmark, I went out and I played one of the VLA tournaments, and like it was just so nice to be back in that like hang out, like chill, like fun volleyball setting. Because Denmark, I enjoyed. I love my teammates; they were all great guys. But like, it's still like it's what you guys just said. Like, it was there to score points, kind of thing. Like, so it's so nice to then like leave and step right into like a gym in the US where it's like that is so much fun.
100%, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. I played with LVC for the past couple of years. This past summer, I didn't unfortunately get to do any of the events because of where I was located. But
I was gonna say, why weren't you at them? My fault.
I was living out in Omaha with my girlfriend for the majority of the summer, and wouldn't recommend going to Omaha, but it was a good experience.
Not for volleyball, at least.
Not for volleyball. No, there's for girls. Yes, for girls.
Yeah.
It's unreal out there. I mean, especially. Like the club scene, and it's a wealthy area, so like all the parents want their kids to be like Huskers. So running private lessons out there, amazing.
I bet.
But like I said, I'm hoping that the VLA stuff, you know, continues and they grow that a lot, because it's like you see the Athletes Unlimited thing. I don't know if you guys checked it out. I'm sure you did at some point, but like that whole thing was done so well, and I was just so jealous.
What'd you think of the format though? The like captain's choice. Did you hear about that? Like the way
I wasn't. I don't know if I'm too familiar on exactly what I thought. It was like the captains like picked teams each week or each game or something like that, and then they rotated and got points for kills and blocks and wins and random stuff. And
so like the way that it was
like that, right?
The professionalism of it was like sick, no question. But I was curious, what did you think of like that, like, because I have the same like knowledge of it, like pretty general, like captains, but I also heard that whoever was like the MVP or the lead scorer or the best player on the team last week would get more money and be a captain for like the next week or something like that.
Next week, yeah. I mean, I think it's an interesting format for sure, especially to get like viewership and eyeballs, because it like kind of like makes it more like I don't want to say like Hunger Games type deal, but like, you know, it's like. Yeah, I mean, it's not just like one team playing versus one team for the whole 4 or 5 weeks, which might be a little boring because there's only, you know, 4 teams worth of girls playing, I think. So it's like I thought that added an interesting element to it for sure. I wish that the guys could get the sponsorship, and I wish the 2 leagues. I'm not going to talk about the other league, but I wish that. I know everyone's got their opinions, but it's like you're just killing the sport. Like they gotta figure it out. It's too big head right now. It's like settle the feud and figure it out, because, and I don't know enough about it. I know a little bit, so I'm probably speaking out of my ass on this, but for volleyball's sake, you're not helping by doing 2 leagues.
I know. It's like, it's so frustrating.
You're hurting us. You're hurting us. And if the guys want to play in the States, you're hurting us.
And I'm sure you heard about the like, I'm not gonna get into that part of it. But either I just realized like I feel like
I heard about it. You should tell me.
No, okay, okay. So you probably know what I'm talking about. But like that part's just insane. Like, and then like you said, I think having the 2 leagues is good, but the fact that they don't cross play
with the stuff behind the other league.
Yeah.
It's all shady, man. It is shady.
It's insane.
It's under the table
super
stuff.
Creepy. Yeah. Like what the hell? And then like you said, like, and what's worse is like there's some crazy high level players in that gym and in the other gym. Like some from each league are in your gym in the first Bundesliga. Like that's sick. And people in Germany are paying to go and watch you guys play. But in the US, like we can't even field enough to do that. So it's like, I think having 2 leagues is good, but the fact that they don't cooperate is just so frustrating.
Yeah, I think it's a nightmare. Yeah. I think they're dropping the ball, and I think they're doing volleyball for at least the male side is a big disservice. But I'm pretty strong opinion on that one, just because like I want it so bad for our guys, because I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime, at least my playing lifetime. but I would really like to see it for guys underneath me, just to have the option to, you know, make some money and play in the States. It's like soccer did it. MLS blew up. It's like lacrosse now has professional in some
Yeah.
states.
It will.
It's like,
It will.
I had no idea that lacrosse was a professional sport in the States. And it's like, and no disrespect to lacrosse, but it's like volleyball is popular too. It's like,
I think volleyball is bigger, definitely bigger than lacrosse.
that, yeah, I mean, that was my point, but I don't know the numbers, but it's just crazy to me. It's just
Yeah,
nuts.
it almost feels like right now it's like I wonder what the old stories of like ABA versus NBA before like the real NBA came out, because I'm pretty sure like some of the playing conditions and things were pretty abysmal, honestly, for those guys like early on. So it kind of feels like that. Eventually, we'll figure it out. Like one of the sides will cave, or like the side that's doing it more right will kind of keep going through. Probably, yeah, they'll prevail. But it's just going to take longer, and it's frustrating again because they're like, yeah, we're sending really good athletes just to play overseas, and we could all be playing right here, and it for sure would be entertainment.
And there's been guys like Olympians, like guys who are making fat, like 6-figure checks that said they would take like $50,000 pay cut if they could stay and live in the US, like easily.
Dude, absolutely, dude. And there's nothing wrong with Europe. It's a great experience, but like, as you guys know, it fucking wears on you after a while, not being by family and stuff. Like, I mean, friends, girlfriends, stuff like that. It's like, it takes a toll.
When we talked to Matt Seifert about it, I mean, he played his 2 years in Europe, but like, he was even like, dude, I missed weddings, I missed funerals, I missed births, I missed like birthdays. Like, he's like, I missed a lot of stuff in just 2 years. He's like, I came home and like friends of mine that I used to hang out with, like in college, are now like have a family and getting a house. He's like, and you can do that, but it's just like you said, like, and also what I noticed when you're in Europe, like when I'm back home, there's just so many people I know, so many different things to go and do. When you're over here, you spend 90% of your time in the gym. And then those are also the only guys you know, because you don't know the language. So it's like you want separation from the guys you're playing with, but you also need like time to get out and go out with people, which is honestly why this second year has been so much better, because there is no Americans at all in Denmark with me last year, a couple of Canadians and other things. But like this year, even going up to Berlin and like meeting up with Jeff and you guys, like it's so nice to like get out of like my area and go out with a different group. It's just really
huge. It just mentally resets the brain and the body.
Mm-hmm. What about outdoor? So you had a couple outdoor tournaments this year. You gonna keep dabbling in that?
I would like to. I'd like to play more grass. But
I love to hear.
When you play, I mean, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but when I play it, like when I'm done in April, like, and I love volleyball. Like usually I'm the type of person that like wants to pick up a ball any chance I get. But like after April, I'm just like, I need a couple weeks to just not touch.
It's hard for me not to just go onto a complete hiatus where I'm like, I don't want to touch a weight, I don't want to do, like, I need my body to heal for a second because it doesn't rest. So like that's one of the things that our like national players have top line care in the summer and better care when they're overseas, but like these guys do it year round, and I'm just like, that's wild. Like the guys I know that are on the national team, hats off to them, because they just work and work and work, and it's hardly ever any rest, like from beginning of college just like through their career. And it's like, wow,
dude. Even a lot of those guys for their own weddings, like if they're getting married on a Saturday, like they get Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, and then they have to be back in the gym on Monday. Like their own fucking wedding weekend, they don't even get to like get out for like 2 days and run and like do stuff. Like that's insane.
Yeah,
I've heard of some players writing in their contracts, being like, I get this many days off.
Yeah, I would too, honestly. If I was in that situation, I would 100% write in some vacation.
Yeah, I mean, again, like there's not as much advocacy for like what volleyball players get, because there's not like this whole league that is all organized and set up like it would be for the NBA players now. Like I feel like most of like
players
like
union.
really accredit the players unions, you know, like they have these reps, and like, you know, like they can just demand so much more for themselves because of how lucrative the business is, and like how important they are to that, like the profit that there is to be made. And it's just not the same for volleyball yet. So I'm not going to say we're abused or like bitch about it or anything, but it's part of the conversation, to say the least.
Yeah. And we all willingly sacrifice a lot to be here. And it's not always rainbows and butterflies as everyone makes it or thinks it probably is from a far point of view.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. And like the whole, I always love whenever I catch up with like people from back home or when I'm home and you meet somebody who's not in the volleyball world and like it comes up like, oh, what do you do? And it's like, well, I play like volleyball over in Europe. And they always think it's like the coolest thing, which it is. Like, I think the fact that we get to like get paid to play a sport and chill is like the coolest thing ever. But it's also
100%.
like, they're like, man, I'm so jealous. Like, I just got this 9 to 5 and started doing this. I'm like, yeah, like I get that, but like, you don't know how nice it is to be able to like run to Chick-fil-A or like go see like your brother on a weekend and like
trade-offs
like,
with everything, man. Trade-offs with everything.
It's like I have 2 nieces. They were born the day before I left to go to college my freshman year. Which, as you guys know, even training in college, like you don't get a lot of breaks or a lot of weekends where you can go home if you live some distance. I was 6 hours away. And then I've been playing professional. So it's like I spend 90% of my year completely away from my nieces. Like when they were really young, like they only knew me as a picture like on the fridge. And when I came in person, they were like almost scared of me because they didn't see me regularly, you know?
Yeah,
it's just it's a weird thing to like go through or like to experience. Which I'm sure for you guys both had the same thing, similar things or issues that you guys have had.
100%. FaceTime and Snapchat. That's pretty much what I lived through, as I'm sure you guys did as well.
Definitely.
Lots of video games.
Yeah, true. That helps as well. You got anything else, Callaway? Or are you pretty much good? I feel like we got a lot accomplished. Don't want to keep taking up any more of Blake's time.
We did get a lot. I think we can safely say that we covered enough.
Blake, is there anything else you want to hit on? Like, if there anything, like I loved how you were getting passionate about the VLA and stuff. So if there's anything else you want to like speak word to, feel free to let it out.
No, I'm good. I appreciate you guys having me on. I really do. It's cool what you guys are doing. I think it's awesome. I wish that I would have thought of something like this to do, because it's like you said, we have so much free time.
Yeah. Hey man, all I'm saying is we got big plans. So you're a good friend to us, and we will definitely let you know what these big plans have in store. So maybe there's always some way to collaborate, you know?
Yeah, man. If you want to jump in, you want to join the team a little bit, we're definitely more than open for sure. We've actually reached out to some other guys. So yeah, if you want to jump in for sure, that would be sick, man. Plus, you're awesome, man. We really appreciate you coming on. Also, huge congrats to Blake. He just tonight, he won 3-2 against Lunenburg. Also has a couple Americans on it, so you guys can go check out everything that he's accomplishing with Netzhoppers in First Bundesliga. Go check out their games. Go check out Blake. And yeah, man. But again, thanks for coming on. You were so sweet to have on, and we appreciate you taking time to join in.
Yeah, no, thank you guys again. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.